The story begins with a father and daughter, both bearing severe facial disfigurements, due to a genetic defect that afflicts every member of their bloodline, with extensive birthmarks marring their faces. Determined to shield his daughter from school bullying, the father dedicated countless hours to genetic research daily. Through relentless effort, he finally developed a dermal regeneration serum. But lacking research funding, he became his own test subject. He grafted rodent skin onto his face, applied the serum, and witnessed miraculous regeneration. The skin growth didn't halt, rapidly sealing his nostrils and mouth, desperately fighting suffocation. He slashed his sealed lips with a scalpel.
Still the flesh,
Its relentless expansion,
encasing his entire face in a fleshy tomb.
until life left his trapped body.
A decade slipped away. His daughter Xiaoning, having inherited his scientific brilliance,
Secured a research grant at a Singaporean university.
yet her disfigured appearance drew relentless bullying from classmates.
Growing in this toxic environment, shame became her constant companion, and affection an unattainable
Luxury.
She resolved to escape this life. Using her dwindling grant money, she bought a plane ticket to Singapore, seeking refuge with her sole relative, an aunt. There lived her cousin Angela, exactly Xiaoning's age. But cultural differences festered, day after day.
Angela treated her with icy disdain. Xiaoning blamed everything on her disfigured face. Only when passing a similarly disfigured homeless man after school
Would she momentarily shed her suffocating shame. Fortunately, Xiaoning is also an academic
standout at university. Her outstanding grades quickly caught the professor's attention, and her father's manuscript was accidentally discovered by a professor.
Coveting the genetic technology, he recruited Xiaoning as his assistant. But months flew by with zero experimental progress.
It also drained over 100,000 SGD of his funds. Seeing no profit, he abruptly fired Xiaoning,
Replacing her with another assistant. Xiaoning had long realized.
The professor merely coveted her father's breakthrough. Undeterred after leaving,
She pondered the experiment's flaws more meticulously.
on her way home, she picked up a fallen poster, suddenly recalling plant cells divide more stably than animal cells.
Perhaps they could break through the DNA bottleneck.
Her research revealed a plant called homesick konjac works miracles restoring damaged cells. Coincidentally,
A specimen grew in a nearby park. So,
she sneaks into the park under cover of darkness.
the corpse lily blooms precisely, its cells at peak activity.
She decisively harvests a root fragment as sample.
Back in lab, she pulverizes the tissue into a precisely formulated serum.
She grafts rat skin onto herself urgently, injecting the serum into the graft site. Instantly, the wound heals rapidly before her eyes.
But being young, she's naive to human treachery.
She shares her triumph with the professor immediately. Outside, the blonde mistress witnesses this. She believed the professor was having an affair with Shaolin, fueling her rage, as she was his official mistress. Her monthly exam perfect scores came at the price of selling her body,
To protect her position, she confronted Shaolin directly.
threatening him with photos to stay away from the professor. After they left,
The professor immediately sent Shaolin's notes to his confidant, aiming to win the Nobel Prize in Literature through its translation. Meanwhile, the blonde remained uneasy after confronting Shaolin.
and sent the photos to her cousin Angela.
Angela had long resented this parasite living under her roof. Seeing her chance, she called her mother.
Demanding his expulsion,
But the aunt, rational, refused to take sides.
and decided to return to mediate between them.
Her mother's distrust ignited Angela's fury. She publicly toppled Xiaoning's father's memorial tablet.
Damn you. Stop. Hold it down.
When Xiaoning regained
Composure. Angela
lay dead by her hand.
Her aunt was already en route.
Failure to resolve this.
Meant losing her aunt forever.
Yet her genius mind prevailed. Within minutes, she devised a solution.
She dragged Angela's corpse to the bathroom, then gritted her teeth as the scalpel sliced her cheek.
Face transplantation, the only option left.
After peeling off Angela's skin and injecting the serum, she grafted it onto her own face.
Bones cracked and reshaped, until her face morphed into Angela's, as she gazed in the mirror at her flawless, birthmark-free cheeks. Tears of joy streamed down her face,
Just then the aunt returned.
demanding why Angela had driven away her cousin, and apologizing for shouting earlier.
Unbeknownst to her, her precious daughter lay dead beneath the bed, cold and lifeless. Meticulous as ever, Kobayashi studied old videos that night, practicing Angela's expressions before the mirror. The next day at school, wearing Angela's face, she greeted everyone. But unexpectedly, Angela had a secret lover, giving her the first taste of romance.
As passion consumed them on the mountain, he noticed cracks spreading across her face. Before the entire facade peeled away,
The fledgling romance ended when he plunged to his death. Back home, Xiaoning reapplied the serum.
To reattach the mask,
Realized
the formula remained unstable, requiring daily applications. Discovering the professor had stolen her research, she confronted him, only to meet feigned ignorance and outright denial. Seething with helpless rage, Xiaoning's gaze fell upon the blonde woman below and her exquisite skin. A sinister plan took root.
Posing as Angela's friend, she begged a ride home.
In the car, her eyes began to fixate hungrily on the blonde, because she had long coveted this flawless skin for herself. Then, she lured the blonde into the house and quietly locked the door behind them. When the blonde let her guard down, Angela attacked her with a weapon
But the blonde didn't just wait. She quickly retreated from Angela.
and rushed to Xiaoning's room for help, unaware that Xiaoning was her real attacker. As Angela closed in on her, she fled through the terrace to the backyard, only to find its door locked. With no other escape, she submerged herself in a nearby pool, but her telltale bubbles betrayed her hiding spot to Xiaoning.
To preserve the facial skin intact, Xiaoning drilled through her skull with an electric drill. After multiple murderous ventures,
Xiaoning's psyche was unraveling, yet she refused to surrender, choosing instead to descend deeper into darkness.
But the commotion had set their dog into a frenzy.
Alerting the next-door neighbor, the old woman stormed over, warning Angela, "Control your dog."
Or I'll call the police.
Xiaoning, as Angela, faked compliance, playing the dutiful girl with swift apologies.
By next dawn,
She was studying the blonde's videos, mimicking every gesture.
even replicating her nail polish and contacts precisely. Now, wearing the blonde's face.
Her hair perfectly matched, flawlessly perfect.
Then police knocked. The neighbor had secretly reported her.
The officers spotted a gaping hole in his backyard and entered unannounced.
With numerous student disappearances recently, they decided to search the premises, but upon seeing the gorgeous woman inside, they remained courteous, barely glancing around, and deliberately handing her their cards before leaving. Smirking, one suggested she call him personally if in danger.
This confirmed Xiaoning's belief in the shallow, looks-obsessed world, justifying all her actions. But now a graver issue loomed. With corpses piling up, she had to bury them in the backyard under night's cover. The commotion, however, drew nosy neighbors.
I'm F.U., Angie's friend. I heard shouting. She's not home, I'm afraid. Typical, isn't it? That spoiled bitch. Good night. Back at the villa, Xiaoning stared at the three phones, paralyzed with indecision.
Then, a notification lit up the blonde's phone. She unlocked it.
Only to find her own compromising photos. To divert police attention, she sent them to the cops.
Meanwhile, the professor was hyping his skin repair tech on stage. When police stormed in to arrest him,
He was cuffed for allegedly molesting students.
as Xiaoning slipped into his villa,
Desperate to retrieve her notebook, but lacking evidence, he was released within days. The university still expelled him to save face.
strangely, he was
Upset,
This allowed him more time to focus on skin regeneration research. Shockingly, within just 1 week, he successfully replicated the serum using Kobayashi's father's research notes. Immediately after his breakthrough, he contacted his mistress, intending to celebrate with the blonde,
he retrieved a bag of flour from the cabinet's hidden compartment,
then hurried to the kitchen to cook. Seizing the opportunity, Xiaoning
found a vial of the completed serum in the same compartment. As she closed the cabinet, her skin began fissuring again. She hastily excused herself and left the professor's villa.
The moment the blonde left, the professor sensed trouble. He rushed to check his safe and, as feared, his serum was gone. But instead of giving chase,
He inspected the adjacent hidden compartment.
thankfully, his notes remained. Yet the professor wouldn't take this disgrace lying down. Alone, he stormed into Angela's home, finding Xiaoning on the floor in the dimly lit room. A fierce argument erupted, with the professor boasting he'd soon be the world's greatest scientist, while Xiaoning could crawl back to where she came from. Under duress, she revealed the serum was in the fridge, but when he opened it,
He froze. There lay his mistress's corpse, staring back at him.
as the professor stood dumbstruck by his crumbling psyche, Xiaoning plunged a tranquilizer syringe into his neck. Then she turned on music. She settled in to enjoy the melody while watching him die. Afterward, she pressed rat skin onto his chest. The solvent was injected into his body to prevent him from suffocating to death.
A stainless steel tube was inserted into his trachea at that moment.
When the neighbor heard screams and rushed over,
She witnessed the horrifying
scene. Realizing she'd been discovered, Xiaoning frantically packed her bags to flee, but it was too late. Police sirens wailed outside.
As officers who'd been guarding
Blondie closed in.
Xiao Ning sprinted toward the homeless man, throwing herself into his arms, accidentally shattering her last vial of serum. No problem. Did you see a girl come through here? Blonde woman? Yeah, she went that way. Wait, what have you done? Her aunt drowned her sorrows in alcohol after that. After just a week away on business, her niece vanished, and her daughter died. In the dead of night, she'd desperately call out to girls on the street, hoping one was Xiao Ning. But only strangers ever turned her call.
Unbeknownst to her, the Xiao Ning she sought was the homeless man beside her, now unrecognizable. Xiao Ning had fused completely with the vagrant, becoming a grotesque monstrosity, a fitting retribution.